Hey, good morning, everybody. It's so exciting. It's December 20. It doesn't feel, I don't know, it's like just this kind of strange year, like Christmas just all of a sudden snuck up. But here we are. Oh, here's Carrie. And I'm so excited. This is like my favorite time is to be with you guys. And I look forward to these calls. And I love our accountability group. And Mia, you need to get into it. We're doing like daily accountability with the daily method for success sheets and stuff. There's always room for more.
I'll get into it. I'm sorry I missed that one somehow.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been really fun. I had a little bit of a setback this week.
Is it a Facebook group? Did you invite me on there already?
It's just a text thread where we text a picture of our daily method for success sheet every day.
Okay.
Melissa's on fire. Melissa's on fire.
Yeah, she is. And I wanted to ask that really quick before we get into meeting Carrie and stuff, which I'm so excited you're here. Just who has a win they'd want to share?
Just getting responses finally. I mean, yeah. I think really doing it on a daily basis has helped, and it's been a big win. I mean, a lot of them are no's or I'm waiting till the first of the year type of a thing, and or I promise I'll contact you, but at least it's something. So I'm getting people talking and thinking, and so yeah.
Love it.
That's exciting. Me too, actually. When you said that, I was just trying to think about it. I actually got a response from the video I did the other day about people joining me for the 30 Days to Healthy Living. One of my girlfriends reached out and said, hey, I want to know about that video. So yeah, sometimes you think that stuff doesn't work, but people, like you say, always say, Tammy, people are watching.
Same here. It's just getting responses from people back in the past that said they were interested and then fell off with communicating with me, and just kind of revisiting it months later. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a great time to start. So we're still talking. There's like probably 5 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a cool thing happen yesterday. Well, 2 things. Friday, this man reached out. His name is Jason, and his sister-in-law or somebody is someone that I was friends with. And the sister-in-law, we met several times for lunch and stuff. And she was telling me she's in another network marketing company. So we were, I was just trying to see if she needed some makeup or whatever, because her company is nutrition and whatever. We were just going to be buddies. She never ended up doing anything with Arbonne, and that's fine. And we've just stayed in touch. But she's from a different company. And she recommended me. She referred me to this guy who wants to get the age well set for his wife for Christmas. So it was like a cult, like I don't know this person at all, but because I was kind to someone and networked with someone who's in a whole different company, I was just like, this is the coolest, to get a referral out of the blue. And then yesterday, there's a lady, I'm not joking. I have talked to her for 4 years. I met her on a vacation in St. John's. We were on a boat trip, whatever, tour day together, and just hit it off. And we've literally talked on the phone many times, and, it's messaged. I've talked to her about Arbonne. I think she'd be great for the business. She's a cosmetologist too, Mia. And anyway, finally, after 4 years, she became a PC. And she's interested in the 30 days as well. And it is so cool. Just like you said, Mia, she knows I moved to Florida. She knows, what I mean, about my whole life. Like she's been watching, and it's just taken a minute, to help people make a decision. But I think it's such a big deal to just stay true to ourselves and stay true to our message. And it was funny because she goes, yeah, that's all you talk about is Arbonne on social media. And I think it's funny because on purpose I don't always talk about Arbonne, because I want to meet other people, and I've talked a lot about breast implant illness, and I've networked with a lot of people there, but in her perception, that's all I talk about. Isn't that interesting? And it's not like she comments about that or anything, but she's watching. And so it just cracks me up how people like perceive us. Right. But hey, it worked. So whatever it is, it worked. All right. Well, with all that being said, I'm so excited because honestly, Our guest today, I have goosebumps already. She's honestly, I'm going to tear up. She's one of my favorite people in Arbonne. We have like, you know how you like grow up together? That's how I feel. I'll never forget seeing her speak. It was June of 2013, Karrie. I remember at the Chris Widener event, this gorgeous woman gets up and starts talking. I'm like, who is this woman? Like, she's amazing and poised. And it's like, I just could see you on the stage at GTC as an MVP. And she was the new area manager at that time. And I was like, wow. Anyway, then it was so funny because she was like perfectly, I mean, she looked like Sherry, just perfect head to toe, you know, with all her pretty outfit and everything. And then I get to know her and I'm like, oh, she's like me. She's just all over the place and sticky notes, and she's not like totally organized, and she has 4 kids and 2 jobs and like wild, just this wild, chaotic life. And she holds it together. She's like the most positive, uplifting person. We have laughed our heads off together, and I just love you so much. And the reason I think I've been asking you for like 6 months to talk to my team because I love you, but I know your life is nuts. And so, of course, like all busy people do, I get her in December, right before Christmas, which should be the busiest time of year, but nope, not for Karrie. She's a teacher. She's a mom of 4. She also helps her family's business. It's a jewelry business. She's also an RVP. And she did it all in her crazy life. She's had 2 kids since she started Arbonne and stuff. And look at this little one. And so I tell you what, I wanted Karrie to jump on just to tell her story a little bit of how she built RVP with her crazy busy life. And also why December is so magical. Because guess what? Karrie promoted to RVP in December. Like, you went into qual October 31st, and then you promoted December 31st. And I just want you to share that story of how your volume looked in December and how, you know, just how this month goes. So anyway, but first let's hear about you, my lady. I'm so excited to see you. I miss you so much. I just want to give you a hug.
I know, I miss you. I miss our little slumber parties. Tammy would come, and usually February, and if I knew she was coming downstate, we would host a healthy living class here. I'm like, oh, Tammy's here. Okay, that'll help get people.
I know. Meanwhile, Karrie's like breastfeeding, and she's like, sure, 40 people can come over. Sure, I work tomorrow. Sure. Like, oh my God, this woman.
She's back the house. No, I'm going to close this door real quick because hopefully it'll keep some kids out. Okay. Oh, well, thank you. I'm so glad you have such a good memory because I don't remember any of those dates besides the region one. I do remember that.
Well, you stood out to me. You're so amazing.
In the area one, oh my gosh, June of 2013. I look back at that and I feel like I was just this like little girl and didn't know what I was doing and wrote my speech that morning. And so anyways, it's been a fun journey. And yes, I am not what you would call organized. I'm just looking, I wish you could see my desk right now. But I just have like notes and papers. Like I have to have notebooks everywhere. My calendar's a mess, but because I just have to write everything down. And I think that's actually helped these past 9 years of maintaining relationships and following up is just writing everything down. But anyways.
How were you introduced to Arbonne?
So I was introduced to Arbonne at a vendor show. I was helping out another friend who was pregnant at the time, my teaching partner actually. And she sells 31 bags and totes, and she was going to go do 2 vendor shows like 2 weeks from delivery. And I'm like, you are not doing this. I know your catalog inside and out. I'll help you. And what do you need? Oh, I have to wrap up. Come say hi to Tammy real quick because Tammy hasn't seen you in a very long time. Remember, Tammy would do like our slumber parties, and Tammy would be cook all her healthy food. Just say hi.
Hi, June.
Okay. All right, go shut the door. Okay, I'll be done in a couple minutes. Go get Kate if you need something. Okay. Okay. You're fine. You're fine.
Bye.
Close the door. Close the door. So anyways, I met Corey Foster, who's now my sponsor, at a vendor show. And I basically, I liked the idea that she had, at that time, it was tubs of protein with like a screw on lid, like these big sturdy tubs. And I am a runner. I don't feel like one at the moment, but I've ran marathons, and I was very intrigued by the vegan protein and blah, blah, blah. We all know that. And so anyways, I said, well, I want the best discount. That's all. I come from a family, like Tammy mentioned, my parents own a jewelry store. So I know about the wholesale discount, and that's all I would be interested in. I want your price. So she, you know, didn't have, I don't know, I didn't buy anything that night. She gave me was going to give me a sample, but she was going to have me pay for it. And I'm like, I'm not paying for a sample. So anyway, so we left with the fact that I would host, because hosts get the best deal. And I was all about the best deal. So she's like, you know what, why don't you just host and you can learn more and blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. So that was November of 2011. And she then proceeded to call me November, December, January, February. And I finally like put her in as Corrie the Arbonne lady, so I wouldn't answer the phone. Not to be rude, but I was just like, I can't, what was I thinking, committing to a party? I can't have a party. I teach and blah, blah, blah. I can't have people over. My house is a disaster. So finally in February, she messaged my teaching partner on Facebook and said, and this is where the persistence pays off, you guys, because she said, you know, Karrie had said she was going to host, and, you know, could you maybe message her and just see, you know, just see if she could help get something on the calendar. So my teaching partner called me and said, you know, the Arbonne girl called. Will you please just do something? Because now she's messaging me on Facebook. I said, fine. It's February break. We're off. It gives me a reason to clean my house. I said, I'm only inviting my mom, my mother-in-law, my childhood best friend, and her, my teaching partner, because, you know. And Corrie came. We ended up doing it. And it was the most amazing presentation. I learned so much. I was like, oh my gosh, because she had the statistics about what goes in, like what we say, what goes into our skin in the 26 seconds. And at that time, it was 1,500 ingredients that we didn't allow. And now we can say over 2,000. And she had statistics with breast cancer and just different things that was like, wow, this is so interesting. As you know, days previous, I was putting Johnson & Johnson's and Eucerin and petroleum products on my kids. I'm like, wow, this is like bigger than just hosting some party. This is like a mission. And I have friends and family that are also using these products, and we're lathering the dollar store Dora shampoo into our kids' heads. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I ended up wanting like everything. And my wheels just kept turning. Okay, but I want the best discount, but this is like a really big mission. I've always kind of wanted to do something, but I wasn't passionate about selling bags. I wasn't, you know, I like and support all my friends that have businesses, candles, and you name it, but nothing I felt like pulled towards. So as Corrie was leaving, and I just had to get back with her about my wish list. It was 10:30 at night, and I'll never remember that. I will always remember this. She was putting on her coat, like walking out the door. And I was like, wait, I want to do this. And she was just like, as any of us would be like, yes. Oh my gosh. And so I ended up ordering like the whole catalog because I knew, because she told me that we have a 45-day money back guarantee. And that is so important to tell people, because switching things that I had literally used since I was 16. And at that age, that day I was 32. So for 16 years, I had used the same mascara, the same shampoo, the same foundation that my mom used, the same everything. So changing those things is scary to people. We get like attached to our products. And so I knew that whatever I ordered, I could return. And then turns out that order put me in qualification for district manager, which I was like, what? Oh, I'm a competition person. You know, now you've turned this into something this is my language. So I'm like, well, how much more do I need to finish? And well, why finish in 3 months when we can finish in 2 months? And anyways, a lot of it was my own ordering, but we did become a district very quickly. And yeah, but it came from a vendor show with a very persistent consultant that could have just stopped calling me.
Amazing.
Me. So
amazing.
It's been Karrie, awesome.
What's interesting and what you need to know about Arbonne and why this is such a fair compensation plan and fair structure is Karrie has passed her sponsor. And, you know, we're all still buddies and everything. And Corey can still pass you and get back, you know, like that's the beauty of Arbonne. You hold your place in line just by keeping your ID number. But Karrie has passed her sponsor based on her own efforts. So just know that you could sponsor someone that could pass you. And how cool would that be? You know what I mean? Like that excites
so cool. And I can't wait to pass up Karen Priemer, my MVP one day. I'm not passer, but I'm just, you know what I mean? Like just have this. It's just so cool that the way this business is set up. And I'm always rooting for Corey. And I remember when I went area and I'm like, come on, girl, let's do this. You know, this is your time. And what can we do? And how can we work together? And so she eventually became area. And now I'm rooting for her to get to region. But it does take, and how this compensation plan works out is it's your personal business. And yes, if you find amazing people along the way, that's just icing on the cake. But it has not been like that for my business where I have like another me or even a half of me or even a quarter of me. It's mostly my central district. So for example, when I went region back in, so what was it? 15, 16?
I think 15.
I didn't have Evan yet. I didn't know about Evan yet. So it would have been New Year's of 16, like December 31st, 16, and then it turned 17. Okay. So anyways, you were talking about numbers. I remember December 26th, I was at 15,000.
Okay, so wait a minute, back up.
Yep.
You guys, you know how we talk about central district volume? So that's your personal consultants and PCs, your personal orders. That makes up your district. So it's not anyone that's promoted out from you. Karrie's central district is insane. It is like an MVP central district. She does, I don't know, 36,000 in her own central district. Okay, so last month I think I did like 21,000 or something in my district, which I'm like, whoa, that's pretty good. Oh no, Karrie is like insanely just good. And this is why I wanted you to just speak to us. Is Karrie has built her personal business based on personal connections and staying in touch with people. And her business is huge because of her own effort. It's not because she has a giant team.
Right.
You know, they're coming and they will be here, but this is her personal activity. And it's crazy because you're so busy, but you manage to make all these connections and stay in touch with people. So, oh my goodness. Okay, now let's hear you go from area. Were you an area without any districts?
I think I had consultants that were going district. I don't think I had any districts. And that I did, I kind of go around holidays for some reason. I remember finishing on Easter thinking, and then I went into qual on Halloween and I finished region qual on New Year's. So, yeah, there's just something, I like a frenzy and I like a lot going on. Like during the summer is very hard for me because I don't have the structure of like the school day, and this teaching from home has also been difficult. But as soon as September hits, it's like, let's go. There's just something about, I don't know. There's something about, I don't know. It just works. It works. Finding the nooks and crannies is easier for me in this last quarter than it is any other time of year. But going back, yes, I was going to mention Central District. So when I went into qual for region, I was at 15,000 on the 26th, and I wasn't even panicking. So I'm like,
December. Okay.
And so I knew I had to get to.
So wait, say it again. The 26th of December. So think about that, you guys. 5 days left of the month. She's at 15,000. And what did you need?
40, exactly 40.
Okay, so we're 25,000 away in 5 days. All right.
But it was like, I knew, here we go. 26th through 31st, I lived in pajamas. I had my station set up in the basement. My kids were taken, like my husband took my kids for a couple days. They went to Kalahari. Like we just had Karen Priemer, my MVP, came over and took the kids to the movies. Like we just had a plan because I knew it was happening. But it was just, you know, I tend to procrastinate, which I've gotten a lot better at. Like right now we're already 7th of the month. district manager bonus, done. Area manager will be finished today. Like I don't procrastinate as much anymore. You'd be very proud of me, Tammy. But anyways, yes, your central district, I just can't stress how important that is, because if you want this more than any of your teammates want this, then you have to be the one that is maintaining those relationships, whether a consultant goes from PC to consultant to district, or back to district, or back to PC, like just always loving people where they are and giving them the best customer service no matter what. Even if you thought, oh, this is gonna be my rock star district, and then now they're a PC, everyone gets that customer service. They know about the specials. You help them renew and get their fee waived, and just help everyone, out the best you can for life. I figure as soon as someone signs up with me, they're a customer for life. But I have to give them a reason to never sway or go somewhere else. So like the handwritten notes and the text messages, and just constantly keeping up with people and commenting on, their life and whatnot. But yes, 30 districts usually in peak months like this time of year is usually consistently in the 30s. Last month, I think it was 34.
It's amazing.
With like 28, I think 28.
So, okay, what were you doing when you were messaging people for those last 5 days of December? We have our 30 days, which obviously is a big thing at the end of December.
Back then, because Arbonne did not run these amazing specials like it does now, like the sale that we just had, where last month was, the extra 20 on top of your 35, or the extra 20 on top of your 20. We used to have to recreate those things for ourselves. Arbonne, we just didn't have things like that already set up, so, which is so not complicated. So back then in 16, because I was finishing qual, not to get into qual, because I was finishing qual, I was offering specials to my people, but it got a little tricky, because say you do like a BOGO or 50% off, or I'm offering my discount, and you have to like combine, and then you have to deliver, and it just gets, so it was crazy, I think, because of that, because you have all these orders and you got to combine people and whatever, where now Arbonne just has it so there's always something new coming.
And plus people have their free gift, waiting
for
we
didn't have any of that. So now people can really be like, I don't place as many orders for people anymore. Like it's just, you're really helping people, because they get super good deals now with, like what we just experienced last month. That was insane. Free shipping plus extra 20 on top of your discount. It's like, no, just go order for yourself. Order one thing, two things, 10 things, free shipping. And so just really, so the things I did then, I don't think I would have to do now, because Arbonne has so many amazing specials. So if I was finishing right this second, I would be capitalizing on that nutrition set with the full size Age Well product and the salad shaker. And we have a January 4th healthy living group. And I'd have a goal set, like I want 18 people in that group, or, like have that, and then just keep, and that would be my personal goal. And then also helping my team to create, well, how many people do you think you could add to our group? And even, 5 or 4, whatever it is, but just have some, either Post-it notes, or I do a lot of lists, a lot of check off, cross off. But I would totally be capitalizing on that. And then of course, if you get down to those last few days, and then it's like, okay, we need 10,000 to go, and if you need to offer up some extra special promotions then to finish, then that's what I would do if I was finishing at this point in time. But yeah, the PC free gifts, I mean, just always following up with people, and that is so important.
I just love how the numbers don't scare you at all. You're just like, well, we'll figure this out. Okay. You've always been relentless. So I just want to open it up. And the point is, the reason I wanted you to talk specifically about December is this is a weird month. It's just kind of a wonky month. It always has been. And sometimes it tends to have a slow start, but that last week between Christmas and New Year's is crazy. and that's the time, you know, this is the time to keep in touch with people and build for that last week. But the last week is, I feel, when the bulk of our month's volume will come in. So just hang tight. Don't give up on this month. It's not over. This is 2020. We want to end this year with a bang. We want to, you know, make this month the best month of the year. By truly helping and caring for people, you know, who've been kind of sniffing around Arbonne for months, and now it's like, now's your time, you know, jump on this, all these deals, and let's get healthy together. Treat yourself to health. I love that. But I want to open it up for questions. Like, Karrie, I mean, my question is like, tell me about your nooks and crannies. Like, how do you do this with all your hats that you wear? And it's such a miracle that you're here sitting with us. So thank you.
I was up late wrapping presents until like 2. And that's when I missed your message during the day. I'm like, oh my gosh, you messaged me during the day. So when I read it, I'm like, oh, this actually works. I do work at my parents' jewelry store today, but I don't have to leave until 10:30. So we're good. So nooks and crannies, it changes and it evolves based really on my kids' schedules. So the past 2 weeks, my nook and cranny has been at my daughter's swim team practice. So I have made it a point that we leave at 3. The kids are still at daycare. My other one's still at school, and I go into the practice with her. I used to just curbside drop off, pick up. And now I bring my, where's my computer? I have my computer. I have my list of follow-up people which is just a mess, but I understand it. I write down people that I have contacted, or they've at least shown interest or send me more info or this, but they don't get an X through them until they've actually like completed order. So anyways, I take my little sheets, I take my computer, and then I just go set up shop right in the pool for 2 hours. And one day, and then if I find a really good text message that's working, then I'll fire that out to my team. Like I use this, it's working well, like for follow-up or for free gift or for this or for this. So I kind of do a lot of, text messaging. Like there was one practice I went through, instead of going through my phone, I went through Facebook messages just to see like, who haven't I talked to in a while, and just scrolling through. And the next thing I knew, I was like, oh my God, I just had 208 text messages. But it was copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And I changed the first name. And if there's someone that, you know, I can add a little personal note, but a lot of times it's very short and sweet. I don't know if any of you have ever received messages like from other companies, and if it's long and I can like tell it's copy and pasted, I just like don't really pay attention to it because I don't feel like it's been personalized. So I do really short, very specific, and it usually ends with some sort of question that needs like a response.
So give us an example.
Let's see. Here's the latest. I have been directing people right now to the limited offer section because RE9 is still on huge sale. The Biohydria, people are always looking for a good deal. So I always like to make sure people know of it. And I think that's how we did our bonus. I usually try to do our bonus by the first week, our district bonus. And I think it was the 7th this month, because I usually come out of the month, like coming out of the gates. Like I want people to just know like, oh my gosh, RE9 is still on sale. I knew the tea wasn't going to be free anymore at one point, or I might be getting the sales mixed up, but anyways. But the fact that RE9 was on sale for those first, and it still is, but I let everybody know. So I had like 5 RE9 sets just in those first couple days, just by letting people know, because they don't know the stuff like we do. They don't, I don't know. They need us to tell them. So yeah, so an example, let's see this person. Oh, this was back when we had the double sale. I just said, everything is 20% off. You're 20% off until tonight, free shipping, no matter the amount. Just holler if you need anything. They've never had a sale like this in my 9 years. I like to add that because they haven't. That was crazy. Let me see my most recent.
The text that you're sending that you're going to share with us, is this your current client base or are these new people?
Well, like that particular one was someone that used to be a preferred client and then they lapsed. I've been focusing a lot in like my archives of people that used to have accounts. So they were introduced to the product at one time and then they just kind of like fell off. So I've been helping people to, and that's where a lot of my new sponsors were this month, was old preferred clients, helping them get back on and getting their renewal waived with a 250 order. So a lot are people that no longer have IDs, but used to. The Facebook ones were people that I was like, oh my gosh, I still don't have, this person still has never signed up. So there was, let me pull up one of those. And some people just say, no, thank you. Like this one, this was a girl from elementary school and she had never placed anything. Oh, this was the text I did for 208 people. And it had, and this was, I sent to all new people that I had never introduced Arbonne to yet on my own. So it just said totally random, but RE9, my favorite skincare line, just went 50% off until supplies last. Let me know if you're interested. And that generated a ton last month. Like last month was my biggest month I've ever had in Arbonne, ever, because of what Arbonne was offering, you know.
Can I ask what your month was?
My month was 54.
Woo!
With 28 new, new sponsors or whatever.
Amazing. And what was your personal district? 34?
I believe 34.
You guys, this is insane. Like, this is insane. I'm so, it's so exciting.
And I did have, it was a really big month. I didn't have any districts that bonused, but I had 3 districts that did hit at least 5,000, which was a big deal for them because they hadn't done that in a while. But again, it was a lot of help from Arbonne, a lot. Like that, that sale, woo, needed that. That was great. And everyone needed, because it put all these feelers out that now within the next 60 days allows for that natural follow-up, because it's like you just ordered. So of course I'm going to be telling you about your free gift that's about to expire. Of course I'm going to be checking in to see, that everything showed up and that you're enjoying everything. But yeah, as soon as the holidays are over, then it's like it starts over again, because people now have received money from the holidays. They're ready to spend on themselves, and they do. And especially if they feel like they're getting a really good deal. So Arbonne hopefully will surprise us with something. If not, we could always just recreate a little extra something special, but
they generally do have like a sale at the end of the year. Yeah.
Yes. So anyways, yeah. So that turned into, that was just that totally random. It was super short. I had a text message. It looks like 4 lines. So to me, that doesn't seem like some blah, text message. And then she just said, is there any face lotion? I said, yep. She said, can you share with me what the price is? And then and then here was a friend from elementary school that had never ordered before. And she actually went on to the website herself and just did it. So anyways, that was probably one of the most successful with new people.
That's good to hear. I would love your advice on this, because I feel like I'm not doing anything like that. I've been going from the approach of building relationships, because that's a lot of what I hear through training is getting to know people. And so I feel like my business has completely slowed down because of that approach. So for example, like back in May, I was trying to finish RVP. So I was making those kind of numbers and I didn't make it. And then I kind of took like a month off to rebuild myself and my belief and things like that. So I just poured a ton of myself into personal growth and podcasts and all of that. And now I've just been completely focusing on finding business partners. So starting with the business, and I feel like it is killing my business because I'm getting little to no sponsors. And I feel like all I'm doing is trying to get people to go on hikes with me and to build relationships. And it's super slow and really frustrating, just to be honest and open, because I just feel like I went from going more of the approach that you were doing before. And now I'm trying to go more the approach of building relationships and being friends with everyone. And I don't have time. It's like, I can only spread so much of my time to do all of these relationship building things. And then I feel like I'm all over the place and I'm not really investing. So I think I'm going the completely opposite way. I don't know.
Or maybe just balance it out. I mean, I'm always too doing like building the relationships, I tend to build with the people that I'm naturally running into. Like, for example, with swim right now, I'm with the swim moms and they have never signed up or anything. We have a new swim coach. So, I mean, that kind of tends to happen through just life, or like even going to the jewelry store. If I meet like a really cool customer, then we exchange information or things like that. But at the same time, I just would look back, whatever's easiest for you to look back at your preferred client, your lapsed accounts. That's where I usually tell people to start. Because those are people you had built a relationship with already. So they already know you, they like you, they trust you, they signed up with you in the first place. And now you're just like reaching back out with a reason that you felt was for their best interest.
And I do that. I mean, I don't have a huge client base, but I do that. It's the new, because I want to build my own personal business. So it's getting the new. And I feel like that's where I'm spending every single person, even if they're going to be a business partner or not, I'm trying to spend time with them. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just rubbing the wrong way and it's not getting people, joined. Cause I'm not getting to the point. I think I'm just like, hey, like, I don't know.
Are you in a place where you can do any in-person events or anything? Or are you limited to pretty much virtual like I am at the moment?
Virtual. I feel like a lot of people, there are some people that are open to it, but most people don't want to get together unless it's like outside and we're like going on a hike or something, but they don't want to come inside.
Because the reason I'm saying that is when I look at how I originally met most of these people I'm following up with, like moms of people and this person's cousin and this person's this, it goes back to my original way of doing business, which I was a group presentation junkie. Like when I went region, I had 12 or 13 group presentations like every month. So I was able to build lots of relationships really fast because I knew as soon as I walked into the house, and even if people had like a pre-thought of like what network marketing was, I knew I would be able to just let that guard down and they would see something they'd never seen before as far as like what we have to share and getting them to talk about themselves and remembering those connections. So a lot of what I'm doing now, because I'm not able to do that format right now, is thank goodness because this is going into my 9th year, but those last 8 years of just constant group parties. And so even if consultants have left or not left, but they're not doing the business, all their people know me and they know me at a level where they wouldn't be like, oh my God, why is your upline reaching out to me? Like they know me, I did the presentation. So it's kind of that back in the day, I used to always say, big sacrifice now or small sacrifice now, big reward later. And I feel like that's what I'm seeing now because of that. So even with the way you're doing it now, like a little more individualized, like that will all come to fruition. It's just, you're just not seeing it like right this second. So
yeah, I think too, that's where we as humans, it's just our nature to have expectations for people and like, okay, I just spent all this time with this person and it seemed like nothing came of it. And so it's sort of like we just have to do everything and then and take away the expectation, but just know that we're going to get better by doing the work, that there's no guarantee that someone's going to be a business builder just because you know what I mean, just because you do XYZ. But when you do the work, you get better at presenting, you meet more people, you just, the likelihood of finding a business builder is greater when you're talking to more people. And it's so crazy, Sherry, because I look at our team and our business, and literally from when I went region, only Amy is left. That's it. Only Amy is still here from when I went region. Our team has totally changed to a different, group. But guess what? All those people are still ordering. They're still part of our, you know what I mean? Part of the client base and everything. They still love Arbonne. I'm still getting referrals. I'm still, so it's not for nothing. It's just, I don't know what people's desires are. I just know that, you know, we put that information out, we educate, we have this mission focus, like Karrie said, and people will be drawn to you, you know, based on just, again, just reiterating that message and having that passion. And so, yeah, everything's coming. You're doing everything right, Sherry. I think what's cool about Karrie too is just this urgency. And that's what I'm taking away. I have this like sense of urgency to just jump on every deal, every sale that Arbonne puts out, and just get that message across to your client base. Like, this is amazing. I've never seen them do anything like this. This is your time. I know you didn't order before, but now is your time, you know, to get the best and treat yourself to health and all of that. So I love the short, simple, urgent, excited messages. And I love, again, thank you for saying that, for going back to the events, because I think that's so important, because that's our time to really just educate. You know, we get to educate on hidden toxins, and that's what turned your head, Sherry, and Mia and Melissa and Karrie. You know, for me too, I just loved the education part. It blew my mind, because here I am, a nurse, and I had never heard about mineral oil. I never heard about things you put on your skin absorb into your bloodstream. I'm like, well, duh, that makes total sense, you know, but I just had never heard that before. And it definitely, I loved Arbonne's philosophy. So just getting back to that education, adding value piece, you know.
Yeah. I've had, like, when we went into, you know, lockdown or whatever back in March, I mean, I was in a total funk also, because I felt like my livelihood, as far as like my business, like that's how I did business, was group presentations. That was my thing. And I'm like, how am I going to do this when no one can leave their houses? And so March, April, May, June, July, they were not pretty, because I just couldn't, I wanted to recreate that so bad. And because the thing I used to do every week, no matter what, I would have an open house facial class where I'd fit people at the dining room table, and people would bring people and other people would bring. So there was always new people plus consultants. It was always a place where people on my team could come bring their people, and they didn't even have to do the presentation, because I was going to do it. And then I could help them. And then then their teams would launch from there. And I didn't have that. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because that's where my new people would come. A lot of times with guests, I'd be like, hey, just come over. I'd meet people, just come over, blah, blah, blah. I do this thing every week at 7:00 Wednesdays, da, 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 da. So in the meantime now, I've tried different things. They haven't been as successful, but I at least feel like I'm still meeting new people. So one is the 15-minute, like the Facebook virtual that I think everyone's seen that training on, doing those, helping my team to do those. I did a Zoom, which I really, really liked 2 weekends ago, where it was with all different vendors and everyone had 3 minutes to talk. So instead of having it be like a week-long thing, like we did a Zoom vendor show too, that where like each consultant had a day to do their post. It's like a week-long thing. This Zoom was done in like less than an hour. And so I only had 3 minutes to talk about Arbonne, and then the candle person had 3 minutes. Everyone had 3 minutes, but then we all got each other's informations, our websites, and you were allowed to invite people into the Zoom. So it was through the Novi Library. They had put it on. So they were the ones that had added the clientele or the customers, but I have since then trained my team on that. And I now have a consultant or a manager that's now doing it, where she's rounded up, I think, 6 little vendors that she's friends with. And now they're inviting their guests to this Zoom. They'll each have 3 minutes to talk, and then everyone can just follow up accordingly. So that, I really liked it. It felt, I mean, you can't get as much information out by any means, but at least gives you those little, start connecting dots with brand new people. And meeting vendors is my second favorite thing besides having group presentations in my house. I love meeting other vendors, and eventually, especially if we have different product lines, I use their products and they use my products, and we do other shows together. So just making those connections with other vendors.
Because they already understand network marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that vendor shows are my favorite. I used to always tell consultants, when you go to vendor shows, they'll be like, oh, I didn't get any customers or no one, I didn't sell anything at a vendor show. I said, that's not the point. You go to vendor shows to meet the vendors. You go around. I always go with at least me and one other person, even if it's my daughter. I'm like, you stay at the table. I don't even care about the people that come to the table. I'm going to go around and meet and build relationships with every vendor. I'm buying books from this lady and oils from this lady. And then you just have this whole new set of people that you've now built relationships with. And they're like, oh my gosh, you know. And then I say, you know, next week I'm doing a thing at a facial party or facial class or healthy living at my house. You should come over. And I'll even say too, say it was a Stella and Dot person, bring some of your stuff in. You know, when we have our face masks on, you can talk about your stuff. So just that whole, like, let's work together. Let's empower each other and edify each other and help each other all be successful. So lots of little.
I love that, Karrie.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So.
And I do think that could be really fun virtually.
Yeah, it was cool. I was a little nervous. I'm like, 3 minutes. How am I going to talk about Arbonne? And it's not like a lot of like any vendor show. I didn't have like anything great come from it, but I have now like 8 other women that I'm now connected to that I would have never met otherwise. So it's perfect. In my book, it was perfect.
Well, especially for the time commitment to have 8 new people. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear your because of Arbonne story, because here you are, you're already a successful teacher. You already help with your parents' business. What in the world would make you want to do Arbonne? The way you are, you're so passionate, Karrie. What makes you want to keep, you know, you're already successful too with Arbonne. So what makes you keep striving? What makes you keep, you know, doing this like it with the level of passion that you have?
Gosh, I mean, there's so much. One, yes, just helping people to just know. There's some people that don't know about what they're actually putting on and in their body and the importance of that and how that can affect their entire family. So that keeps me going. The business part and knowing that, like, I want my team to experience the financial piece of it like my family is, and just helping them to get there. So meeting and talking with my, you know, consultants frequently and just revisiting that, like, what is your vision? Where do you want to be in 5 years? What would your very best day look like? You wake up in the morning and you grab your cup of coffee, like, what is your perfect day? And let's get you there. And so same thing for me, like my perfect day back, you know, back before where I'm at now was, you know, living closer to work. And like you guys aren't real familiar with the area, but anyways, we now, since Arbonne, since going region, we were able to move to a home that fits all 6 of us better. I'm a mile from my teaching job. The logistics of life is just like this wonderful little thing that used to be a lot of commuting. But anyways, but having those options where, for example, with this pandemic, when my oldest daughter's ADHD and virtual learning for her was not great in the spring. So come fall, when I found out our district was still going to be virtual till January, I'm like, she can't do this. She's in 8th grade. She's getting ready for high school. There's no way she's going to private school. And we wouldn't have even mentioned the word private school before, but because of Arbonne, literally because of Arbonne is paying for her to go to Country Day, which is totally insane. She's going for 1 year. But it was an option that I was like, I am able to provide this for our daughter so she can be in-person school. She needs in-person school, and she is getting it. She goes 5 days a week. There's 15 kids in a class. I mean, it's the most amazing thing ever that would have never, ever happened because of this. We wouldn't even have 4 kids if it wasn't for Arbonne, because I don't think I would have ever reached the health to even have 2 more kids after our first 2. We had a 7-year gap in there. And then we have these 2 amazing, healthy, amazing kids, you know, in 2015 and 17. Yeah. So just that mission to keep people knowledgeable, help people reach their fullest potential financially and personal growth, you know, like you said, just taking that time and teaching people how to, what you read and what you watch and the things you put in your body, like my girls now that they're 12, I started Arbonne and they were 3 and 5. And my oldest now are 12 and 14. And to just see the lovely humans that they have become and the way they are, it is so because of this business and what I have been able to pour into them that I would not have been able to pour into them had it not been for Arbonne. Like, it's just this, it's so much bigger than just, I have these products to sell. It's so much more. And once people get that, I think they know they're in it for life, and that's it.
I love it. One last question. So tell us why we should go for AIT.
Oh my God, you guys. Okay. That I actually made myself a note about this. So in the top of my calendar are these people are all my consultants right now that maybe don't realize it, but they're going to be district managers because as soon as AIT hit, I mean, it's the same thing every year. It's like, okay, December, it's double volume. So that's huge, 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 huge. And then it's those district managers. So I don't know, this will be our 5th trip I think we've earned. I think we've earned Atlantis a couple times, but it gets canceled or one time. So yes, we were supposed to go to Atlantis last year and canceled. The trips are incredible. We did Puerto Vallarta. My husband went on a cruise one year because I was pregnant. So Arbonne still sent my husband and my 2 daughters on the cruise. It was the trip of their lifetime. The trips are unreal. Jamaica was probably my favorite, but anyways, okay. So you need to look at consultants that will host for you, and hopefully we can have, I need in-person hosting to make my magic work. We need the state to open up because I need group presentations. In the past, this is how it has worked out really well. Consultants that love the products and just speak volumes about the products, and they will invite their people over to either facial class, healthy living, and you have that consultant that's like, look at my face, I already use this and I use this. So they basically help with getting everyone just really excited about the products. And if all works accordingly, everyone orders, they become preferred clients, they become consultants, they want the products too. And what I have done is, if that person wasn't already a consultant, I upgrade them and tell them you need to be the consultant. These are your people. It may not make sense now, but down the road, if your childhood best friend and your mother-in-law and your grandma, like, they continue to order and I'm their consultant, it's going to get really messy. So you're their consultant. We can work together to follow up and all that. But they're going to be connected to you for the long term. What usually ends up happening with that is they're like, wow, that was fun. And then someone else from that presentation books something, and just this like ripple effect. And then usually last time, 3 of those then became my district managers.
Because from that, even from the first party, they could be in call for district.
And I remember one of them was another teacher friend of mine, and she's like, oh my gosh, no, I can't handle one more thing. And I'm too busy for this. And you did the presentation. I don't want to take your commission away from you. I'm like, it's not about that. This is not about me. This is about, you just filled the room with 12 people. They are all signing up. And why not make some extra money? I'm like, you get the commission. Don't worry about me, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, well, let's do this again. And so then we did like every weekend after that, because she's like, that was so fun and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, so sometimes you just have to. And Corey did the same thing with me, you guys. Corey came over to my house, right? And I think she had whatever, my mom, like everyone ordered something because they just felt like, they wanted to help the host, whatever, which was me. And I did start thinking, I'm like, wait a second, Corey's going to get commission on like my mom, my mother-in-law, my teaching partner, which is fine. But I was like, wait a second, that was by me being a consultant. So Corey had actually pointed that out. She's like, you would actually get the sales of everyone that was here tonight. I'm like, oh, okay. I like that idea. And then people get like their little check and they're like, wait a second, I just got like a Pure Pay email. I'm like, yes, click on it, set it up. And, so just kind of helping people see something that they maybe never saw for themselves. But that was huge last year. That was 3 people. It worked out like that. 3 of them.
That's awesome. So it's so interesting. What I hear here is Sherry and Karrie doing the same thing, but Sherry's talking and Karrie's showing. You know what I mean? How to earn money with Arbonne.
Yes, because well, and you're able to have, and again, because in that life we were able to fill houses and have the group presentations. Yes, so showing it was much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We, you know, and it's true. I think virtual, everything works. Samples work,
Yes.
virtual works,
Yes.
vendor shows work. Everything works when we do enough, you know, and I think with virtual, it just requires possibly a little more follow-up.
And then getting products into their hands. So still remember like the drop off. Again, this is like if you have it's more local. But like the Age Well set, my RE9 set, like those are always out. I always have those out in circulation. My rule of thumb was always have 3 in circulation at all times. Now it's more like 1 all the time, but when I was going area and region, it was 3 skincare sets always out. And then like the healthy living packs, like just kind of recirculating things like, oh, offering, you know, if I dropped off some of the healthy living samples, would you try them? If I dropped off my skincare set for 3 days, you know, would you use it? And just making sure you pick it up. Some people at 3 days turned into 3 months. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go pick that up. So it's just life got a little busy for me to stay on top of those, but that's another way to just like get the products into their hands. So then you at least have something to talk about, or
Right.
come on a Zoom together and go through the facial routine with them on Zoom. Okay, like now, okay, hold it here, take the cleanser and we're gonna have them get a bowl, have them get washcloths and like do it with them. You could totally, I have another consultant that's doing Zoom facials. And she's doing it with like the sample packs, but at least it's fun. So
I love it.
I would probably go in that avenue, even get the people together that you've talked to or hiked with or done things with and say, you know what, I'm doing a Zoom with the facial class and I don't know, or healthy living or making smoothies or I don't know, something like that maybe would be helpful.
Yeah, I love it. I know this is our time to get creative, right?
For sure. Totally.
Were you going to say something, Sherry?
I was just going to say thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. I think just hearing what you're saying of just even how you're reaching out and just kind of doing what I was doing a while ago, and I'm not doing that anymore. So
totally.
What you're doing works too, Sherry.
Yeah, I know. I believe that because I've, you know, we've talked about this many times, but I want it to be faster. So I think, because I do believe, just like you, Karrie, that when you get the products in people's hands and then they start to experience it and then they start to understand more of like the, you know, the ingredients and what they're doing for them and things like that, it just starts to shift people and they start to pay attention more. So yeah, I just need to get back to doing more of that and having balance.
For sure.
Think of Peyton, you know, she got on the 30 days and lost 3 pounds. That was her big testimony. It wasn't anything, you know, anything more than that. And she messaged everybody, hey, I lost 3 pounds. It tastes amazing. You got to do this, blah, 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 you know, and she got people on the products. And then the business builders came up, you know, through the ranks, just again, who do you know who wants to lose 3 pounds? Who do you know who wants to lose 10 pounds? Who do you know who wants to feel better, have better skin, whatever, you know? So it just, you know, grew from products first. And it's interesting because Peyton always says that, oh yeah, I lead with the products. And
yeah,
it all works. I think when we lead with the products, we always have to say there is a business attached to these amazing products. You know what I mean? You always want to put that in there and not leave it out. But that's, I mean, think about it. That's really what brings in most people is just some sort of product testimony, you know, some product experience, I should say. Yeah.
Well, and that's, I think, how I built most of my business was because of the 30 days. And now I've gone a 180 and just focusing on the business. So I'm seeing a shift with that.
Well, this is a great time with the new revamped packaging and the new set to just, circle back to your healthy living people. Cause it's super exciting. You take one look at that packaging. It's like, oh my gosh, I love that it like says gut health and it says probiotic fiber. Like it's just, again, they're doing so, like when we used to say digestion plus, we know what that means, but now it actually says like for the microbiome or, you know, your gut health, like Arbonne is doing so many things to just help us grow. So just really capitalizing on that. But yeah, if you built it on healthy living, I mean, this timing I think was really meant for you to at least get that personal business part and then keep sprinkling in what you're doing to, you know, for business builders for sure.
It is. I love how they're adding age well too. So it's both.
Yes, they're going to get a whole product plus a sample. So again, because we're not doing the in-person facial parties, so now we can just like, oh, what did you get? Because I think they get either what, the night cream or the serum, or they get something. So then you're reaching out. So which age well product did you get? Okay, so let's, you know, and then just going from there. It's our CEO. It's totally amazing. It is a total shift in just wanting all consultants to be successful. I mean, it's so obvious. So
Love it.
yeah.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Any other questions for Karrie as we close it out?
Try to get your district manager bonus as fast as you can. Like have that be, even if it's not like the first week, like by the 15th of each month, just because then you know you're doing your part. And if you can then eventually teach your consultants when they come to do that, then, I mean, that's a huge, it's just very, very important.
I love it. It's raising the bar. Yeah. Go ahead, Mia.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say thank you. I don't want to keep you. The only thing I wanted to ask though is, do you ever go back to your Facebook parties and, you know, post specials, like parties that you've done before, go back into those groups?
I haven't yet, but I recommend it to everyone that does them. So I like Tammy mentioned, it's on my list of things to do, but yes, I would totally recommend doing that. And because I have another manager who's she wants AIT so bad. So we've been trying to go through like, what can we do? What are some different strategies? Like when we had the RE9 with the free tea, I told her, I'm like, come on over here. I've got really good lighting in this room. Let's do some pictures. And so then she sent that picture of her with like the RE9 set and the tea. And I'm like, send this out to all your old RE9 people and just be like, look at this special, blah, blah, blah. So then she took that same picture and then posted that in all her previous, the 15-minute Facebook group parties, same thing. So they could see like who she was, what the products were. This is a huge sale. So yeah, I would totally do that. And then always go back to and just see like who viewed or who commented and reach out to those people individually. Like, remember me, I was the Arbonne person. Just wanted to let you, remember you were interested in, you know, how we had people comment like Breakfast Club or 30 days, you know, those are the people you want to reach back out to. You had mentioned Breakfast Club, or you did the 15-day smoothie challenge with me, Arbonne just blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I would definitely reach out.
That's great. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people too in the polls that said they wanted to lose weight. You just maybe think of that back to them now and get them on the challenge.
Yeah, and that's that nook and cranny thing where, because I tend to get overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, this and this, and where it's like, okay, this hour today is just going to be that, or it's just going to be this message. I'm going to send this text message about that to this group of people. Then tomorrow will be something else. Otherwise I'm like squirrel, you know, just like I do this and then I do this. And then I try not to even respond to any messages until I'm all done, because then I get caught messaging back to people. And it's just, but yeah, finding that nook and cranny, like whether it's 30 minutes a day somewhere. And then Tammy and I have the same like personal life coach. And we had discovered that even if I had added 7 minutes more, like to each day, like that's it, 7 more minutes, it ended up being like, I don't know, like 7 hours for the month of extra activity or whatever our calculation was. So it's like, if you're willing to do 30 minutes a day, what could you maybe add like 5 minutes more or 7 minutes more? and it really adds up through the month. So little things like that.
That's great. Thank you.
Karrie, this has been a treasure having you here. Like really, these are, this is a successful person speaking to us who has a million things going in your life, and you still manage to find the priorities. And really, it just boils down to, in your heart, people matter. People, and this is a message and a mission that you're on, to just let people know that they matter and that you care. And that's why you're sharing this. And I know that's why your district is basically almost region numbers. It's insane to me. And I'm so proud of you and so honored that we're friends. And I'm just running after you, girl.
Oh, I'm always chasing after you. But you have a lot to do with building the why, and that why people need to know this information. I mean, Tammy would come speak at our library meetings, and it's just like, oh my God, it's Tammy Ray. I need a front row seat. What am I going to wear? But I just have had so much fun learning from you, because your message is so passionate, but with deep concern for people's well-being, and making sure people, like, they have to know this information and why. And you have the backstory to, show it's just important. And yeah, so I'm always in awe of you.
I love you, lady. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me. I
Thank you so much.
appreciate your persistency, because I just, sometimes I just so thank you for not giving up on me.
I love you. Have a great day. And yes, thank you all, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Karrie.
Knock it out, girls. It's only the beginning. This is like the beginning of the month.
Yes. Love it.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.